Today we're talking about different pieces of cellar equipment that we need to make wine. One of the things that occurs is when you get grapes, when you squish them all up, crush them up, there's juice, but a lot of the juice stays kind of sort of attached to the skin and the pulp of the grape. You need to separate that. White wines, you have to separate the juice right away, so we'll go right into a press. Now red wines, we actually ferment the skins and the juice together, extract the color into the wine, and then press it afterwards. We'll show you what we're doing on that in just a minute. But just back up a little bit into a little history of presses. I mean, if you think about it, the easiest press would probably be to just take a bunch of grapes and put it in a cloth sack and twist it up. I mean, some of you probably made apple juice in your, for Halloween out of fresh apples, and that's kind of how you did it. Long, slow, laborious process, and it really wouldn't work on a scale that Renwood is. Then somebody thought about, well, what happens if we could restrain the grapes with a basket like this? And this basket's made out of wood. It's okay, barrels are wood, and that's not a problem. A lot of them are now modern stainless steel. Something about the wine industry you should really know, and that's everything comes around that's been there. Years ago, basket presses were all we had, and then people got away from basket presses. They didn't like them. Now they're the rage again for really high-end red wines. The way a basket press works is you load the basket right here up full of grapes, and then you press it against an immovable surface. It compacts the grapes. They actually don't come through these slots. They kind of bind themselves up and act as a filter, and then the juice runs out into this pan, and then we'll have a pump down here, and we'll take the juice away. This basket press actually kind of works in reverse, believe it or not. This ram is fixed. You can see it's got a big, heavy steel frame around it. It doesn't move. The basket actually goes up. The whole pan is lifted up on a ram, like an elevator underneath. And initially, it uses electricity to pump it up there, and then after that, we hook it up to a hose and use water pressure and boost that up and pushes it up here. It's not very large. It probably holds about 2 tons of crushed red grapes, fermented red grapes, maybe 3 on a good day. The nice thing about this is that you get a very clean wine that comes off of it, or juice that comes off of it. Some of the very first wines I made almost 30 years ago, we were doing white wines using a basket press, and it actually, instead of having a pan that lifted, it actually had a screw on the top, and we would just sit there and wrench that screw in and push it down. The juice would come out, the press would release a little bit of pressure, you could wrench it a little more, wrench it a little more, wrench it a little more. That's how a basket press works. We're going to move up and look at something that's a little bit more modern. But right now, so basket press, what's old is now new again. So the basket press uses either hydraulic, water, or mechanical leverage to push the grapes up or down on the grapes contained in a basket. You can see the size isn't very large. And so the next generation of presses became the bladder press, which is a metal tube with a lot of holes cut in it, and a central bag that would inflate along the length of it. The problem with the bladder press was that they're hard to clean, and the bladder takes up a lot of space, so they're not very efficient for their size. Still work good, make nice juice, and they use pretty high air pressure. These presses are the next generation, the tank press. This one was relatively simple and had fairly simple controls. This one has a programmable logic controller, and it can be set up for all kinds of different pressing functions. How long the press stays under pressure, how many times it rolls to make the cake break up so it's more, you can extract better. How long the pressing cycle is, what the pressure is, etc., etc., etc. So this press is about 11 years old now, 10 years old. Works very good. It's the made in Howard, I believe it was made in Austria or Germany. Really, really nice. This holds about, probably hold 30 tons of crushed red fruit after it's been grained. And the crushed white grapes, probably about 15 tons of white grapes.